Hello, you guys, and thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday here on the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiera. It's always my pleasure to be in your presence. I hope you guys are having a great week thus far. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this. Yeah, I hope you're having a great week, guys. If you guys have not already been on the website, please go ahead and visit it for the announcements. The announcements are available. There's a whole section of announcements for you guys. It's not really much, but it's like the basic announcements that I was repeating every week. And so that's available at thejourneypodcast.life. Um, I'm trying my best to keep up with the website and just kind of keep it current and keep it well. That's my goal, just to make sure I'm keeping it current every week. The latest video is available. Also, guys, the audio is available for the past like 3 or 4 episodes. So when you are referring somebody, please refer them to the website, or because that audio is available, but the video is available as well, for the last, and the audio for the last like 3 or 4. But I'm excited about that because as I'm growing, I'm learning and I'm doing more, and I got some exciting things coming up for the pod. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. If you guys have not already tuned in to the last episode, which was Sunday's episode, we were talking about how it is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. I did share my encounter with suicide ideation. So um, if you have not already tuned into that episode, please do so, so that you're up to date. Also, we're gonna go ahead and just there's so much things coming up, but I'm gonna put it in announcements. But the exciting news, I'm gonna like just say it on the pod, like on the video, on the episode, whatever. But it'll also be there for you if you want to go on the website and just for a friendly reminder or something. Anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to dive into this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. I hope that it is a good time. So today, on Talk About It Thursday, we're going to be talking about depression, and the journey to just like getting, identifying it, because I like to talk about identity. You gotta call things what they are, you know. You have to be able to like label like what's going on. You have to be able to say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I'm dealing with, and this is and so forth and so on. So that depression is what we're talking about. A lot of people that I know, um I can go on and on about this topic for real. So let's go ahead. Of course, I like to give the definition. What is depression? So depression. This is my little research. This is what Google says. Depression is a common and serious mental health condition characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and loss of interest in activities that were once enjoyable. It can significantly impact a person's daily life, relationships, and overall well being. So, I think that was a good, I think that's a good definition. So I don't have like my own personal take from it because I think that was really just spot on. So, while some of us have experienced depression since childhood, um, I feel like it has become a part of our identity, like even into adulthood. And so, here we were, as children, helpless. At that time, it's like your parent or guardian or whoever, is responsible for you. It's their job to protect you. And when I say protect you, it's not even just from to physically protect you. They're supposed to protect your mental health. They're supposed to protect your emotional health. They're supposed to protect you in all aspects. So being a parent or guardian is not just about providing. So let's first say that it's not just giving a child a place to stay and food to eat and clothes on their back, their necessities. It's about protecting their mental health. It's about being there for them in different aspects and just like, nurturing them. So if you don't already have kids and you are not someone that um really strongly desires to have kids, don't have kids, because a lot of parents just have kids and be like, "Oh, well, I'm a good mom or I'm a good dad because I give you a place to stay and I make sure you're okay physically." Whole time mentally, this child is just experiencing all these things, and you don't even say, "Hey, are you okay? What's your mental health like? What's going on?" Because kids go through things too. Um, Especially these days, guys, kids are mean. When these kids go to school, I saw this thing on Instagram where this girl's mom was like, I buy my kids shoes like every 2 months, and her daughter picked out a pair of shoes that she just thought was cute, and the kids were teasing her because of it, and so she was like, Mom, can you come pick me up? She texted her mom like, Hey, can you come pick me up? um they're teasing me because of my shoes. And so the mom was like, what? And she, I mean, I guess she was there for her. She wouldn't pick her up or whatever the case may be. But she was upset. Like, why are you mad? Why are you, why are you crying because they're teasing you? Like, instead of, just saying, hey, it's okay. And just, there's different ways to go about, but I mean, everybody does what they want to do. But all in all, a lot of us have experienced things as children. Like on the episode where I talked about a childhood to heal from, I talked about the different things that I experienced as a child that caused me to be depressed. And so, as a young adult, depression was not a stranger to me. It was something that I was familiar with from 7 years old. And so, depression easily became a part of my identity. And so, it wasn't until I encountered people that weren't depressed that I realized, like, dang, maybe something's a little off about me. And you know what? A lot of the times, we go ahead and we own that depression and we say things. And when I say we, I am including myself, because like I always say, and this is for people that are new, um I'm only speaking from my perspective. If you can agree with me, if anything that I say resonates with you, then it does. If it doesn't, then you're not a part of we. So don't take it like, oh, who is we? I'm talking about myself and others that have gone through the same thing that I've gone through, and so um we own that as a part of our identity by saying things like, well, that's just how I am, that's who I am. That's just what I do. And just because that's just how you are does not make it okay to be like that. And so I had to realize, like, wow, maybe um all these traumas and all these triggers, like things that people do that just trigger me and send me across the water. Like when I say across the water, y'all, my temper was terrible. Okay, you could do the simplest little thing and then I'll even think about it after I have already reacted and say, wow, I ain't even had to act like that. Like it was not that serious. I'm not like that anymore. I can honestly say that depression is definitely something that has um I'm growing from. I wouldn't say I'm completely grown from it. There are some times where but the fact that I can identify those times. So here we are. That has been good, saying, okay, well, hold on, Kier. Let's backtrack. Why are we acting like this? And so therapy definitely helped me with that. Guys, if you don't have insurance, um and your insurance doesn't like cover therapy, journaling also helps, guys. I have so many journals where sometimes I go through my old journals and I see the prayers that I wrote. Sometimes I write prayers in my journals, and sometimes I write things like how I'm feeling today, how I was doing today, what series of events went on today. If I'm upset, I grab my journal. If I'm and it takes a lot these days to get me upset. I used to be a firecracker. Believe it or not, some people are like, no, you are not. But yes, yeah. If you know me, then if you know me from like back in the day, then you know how I was before I was able to identify depression, and I was able to um fight my way out of it, because it's hard. It's not easy when you go from, imagine being 7 years old and depression just comes and takes over and becomes a part of your identity, and then you're 27 years old, and then you're and so forth and so on, and that's what you've been dealing with all these years. And so you don't even know, because depression came about when you were a child. You don't even realize that you're depressed. You're operating out of depression. And so we're operating out in an identity that chose us. Because of course, as a child, I'm not going to say, oh, I want to be depressed, you know. But I mean, I think that's the easiest time, and that's why I always say it's important to protect your kids, guys. It's so important to when it comes to my kids. I don't play. It's just like, why are you sad? It's okay. It's okay to feel. That's number one. I always let my kids know it's okay to feel. If you want to, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. You can cry because you have feelings, and so it's okay to cry. Um, it's okay to feel. I'm not saying you just walk around crying all day, but if you're walking around crying all day, you know, what's going on? Now we need to sit down, we need to have a talk, we need to figure out why, why are you crying? I used to cry a lot, guys, and the response that I would get from the adults that were around me were like, shut up, stop all that crying, if I give you something to cry for. And so it was just like, I was scared to cry. And then you become this really tough person, this really combative person, this person that feels like I always have to defend myself, no matter what, even if somebody's not against me. Um, and so here we are operating out of a identity that chose us, that we didn't choose, and we're saying things like, "That's how I am." And when depression settles in, you start experiencing things like, just like random mood changes. Like, sometimes I used to get mad. I didn't even know what I was mad for. Sometimes I would just be like, "Everybody, leave me alone." I would be really like upset, like livid, and didn't even know why. And so, and sometimes I would cry because I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be like, I wanted to be healed, even though I didn't know that I needed to be healed. I was like, I don't want to be like this. This is not how I want to be. Like, I would know that I didn't want to be like that, and I would still just be like, oh. Also, you will notice that somebody that is operating in depression, they make really dark jokes, like really mean jokes. And it's like, are you okay? Like, like what is that for you to say? And so I would notice that sometimes the things that I would laugh at were not even funny. It's like, okay, are you cool? Somebody that wasn't going through the things that I've gone through, they would have, they're looking at me like, okay. Yeah, you just kind of say anything. And so, a lot of the times, guys, we're unable to identify that because we're around a lot of people that are just like that. So, we're around a lot of familiar spirits. We're around a lot of people that we grew up with that experience the same thing. They experience broken homes. They experience um secrets in the household, secrets in the family. They experience all those things, and we're around them. And instead of being able to grow, we don't even see that we need to grow from it. So it's not, like I said, for me, it wasn't until I started like surrounding myself with people that didn't have to heal. And so as you grow, you're gonna notice that some things and some people you have to leave behind so that you can heal, if you're ready, and if they're not ready to come with you, then so be it. But you can always go back and and help them come from the place that you were once in, and so forth and so on. It's just like um, here you are trying to go through a door to a new level of who you are, and you can't because you're trying to take everybody with you. And so everybody can't come with you. Everybody's not ready to come with you. So in depression, like I said, we have to learn to identify things for what they are. And sometimes they're masked as, oh well, the root of it is okay. You're depressed, so you have the root, and then you have the reason. Um, and I mean, I guess the reason kind of is the root. So you go through things that cause you to be depressed, and like I said, when you've been dealing with it for so long, it's hard to say, "Oh, I'm depressed." You can't, that happened to you when you were a child, and so here you are now. You're just thinking, well, I'm just protecting myself because people are mean and people are bad, or life didn't go as good as it should have. I wasn't protected the way I should have been protected in all aspects as a child. Um, and I don't say that to say because I feel it so physically. It was nothing like nobody did anything to me physically, but mentally and emotionally, I struggled a lot as a child. So it's just like my mental health at that time, I didn't know how to value my mental health. I'm a child, you know? And so with our parents, guys, sometimes we have to forgive. No, not sometimes. We have to forgive our parents because a lot of the times, recently I was talking to my mom, and my mom was telling me about her childhood, and um she was telling me about her becoming a mom and her having the four of us, my siblings and I, by the time she was a certain age, and her really never experiencing her own childhood, and her really never having a chance to live as an adult. It's like she was a mom. She was a parent all her life. She helped with like her younger siblings. And then um she went straight from that to being a mom to her own children. So it was like she was always a mom. And so when I was younger, I didn't understand her. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I understood, and I had my own kids, and then I started to understand, which is no excuse because, here I am. I went through what I went through, and I value my children's mental health, but um, the generational curses have to stop somewhere. And so, if depression is something that you experienced as a child and you're still dealing with it as an adult, you have to um you have to learn to exhibit behaviors that don't reflect depression. You have to get out of this depression because here you are now, you're raising your own children. And hear me out. You're raising your own children and you are the way that you are. And because, you're raising them, they think that that's normal. And so here you are creating another generation of depressed children that are going to become depressed adults that will have more depressed children that will become more depressed adults. And so at some point we have to nip this in the bud. At some point we have to say, you know what, this stops with me. At this point, this is it. I'm not operating in this identity. I am not depressed. I am whatever your name is. I am happy. I'm at peace. I I've forgiven those that hurt me. I forgive those that wrong me. A lot of the times, guys, the people that you feel like owe you an apology, the people that you feel like caused the depression, they're not going to say sorry. Sometimes they're going to say sorry and you're not going to be ready to forgive them. You're not going to, or and so forth. Like, it's going to be a lot. You're not going to be ready to forgive them just because they say, oh, well, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I need time to process this. What are you sorry for? And, and sometimes people, I think a lot of the people that, I mean, they're still adults now, but the adults that I came up seeing as adults, I think a lot of them have issues with accountability. A lot of them cannot say, you know what, I was wrong. I should have been there for you. You know what, I was wrong. I should have been better to you. You know what, I was wrong. Um, that was not okay what happened to you, and so forth and so on. And so, um, that depression, you have to, I know it's hard, but the sacrifices that we make for our children, it seems like it's endless because a lot of it, I feel like from the kids, the people that were children in the 90s, especially, um, I feel like a lot of our parents could have been better to us. A lot of us were raised by grandparents. Um, a lot of us raised ourselves. A lot of us just like a lot of people that I know that I grew up with, went to school with, and so forth and so on. A lot of us have a story to tell. And that's just coming from where I'm from. I can't speak for other places because I really don't know. I remember being little, moving to Atlanta, and everybody was happy. Everybody was in a two-parent household, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at y'all! Look at y'all! Y'all got it all together." And that made me even more depressed seeing people that seeing people that were happy, seeing people who had a mom and a dad in the same house, seeing people with a healthy family, like they would go on car rides and stuff together, and like, oh, my mom and dad, my parents are taking, like everything will be my parents, and so I would go to my friends' birthday parties, and their parents were just like, oh, honey, I love you, like they were married, and it just looked good. It was just like, oh my God, and so I got even more depressed because I saw happy people and I was like, I gotta go home to a one parent household. And so it was just like, growing up, it was hard. And so as an adult, it was hard to be a parent because I mean, I know what I saw and I had to look beyond what I saw and remember what I wanted from a parent, what my desires were as a child. And so, I couldn't go for what I knew. I had to go for, what I had ideas of what was healthy because I've always, since I was 16, I've always wanted to give my child and my children a healthy life, a healthy, and don't get me wrong, I haven't always been capable of doing that because I was learning, I was trying to do things that I didn't know how to do, that I didn't see anybody doing. And so, that depression as an adult, like, and trying to, I'm like, man, I have daughters, I have sons. I want my daughters to see how to be a strong woman, or how to be a good woman, or how to be an able woman. When I say able, I mean able to process your thoughts, able to make sound and safe decisions, able to operate gracefully, and so forth and so on. And I want my sons to see, to know what to expect from a woman. I want them to marry women that um I want them to marry women that are calm, women that are graceful, women that um aren't quick to anger, or and so forth and so on. And so I had a lot of work to do myself on me. And it's a lot of people that I had to forgive. Well, I don't want to say a lot, but I had people I had to forgive, even though they didn't say, "Hey, Kiera, you know what? I'm sorry." And forgiving somebody does not mean calling them and saying, "Hey, hey, you did X, Y, Z, and I feel like you need to say sorry," because that could open the door. And I always say this, that can open the door for them um, to pour salt on an open wound. Instead of getting closure, you just kind of get mad all over again. Like, dang, you ain't even sorry. Because when you find out that they ain't even sorry for real, it just pisses you off even more. Because why are you not sorry? Shoot. And so, you know what? Sometimes you have to forgive people that don't come out and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. And forgiveness does not mean rekindling. Forgiveness can look like, okay, I forgive you because I need to move on. And you need to move. Forgiveness is for you. Okay, and I think I said that before in a previous episode. Forgiveness is for you, and so you have to learn to forgive so that you can let go of those things and that you can move on and that you can grow and then you can grow forward. I like to say grow instead of go because I think that's just like, yeah, I like it. But anyways, guys, I think if you guys are struggling with depression, um get help. Get help. Go seek therapy. Find a hobby that brings you peace. Therapy is not always the only answer. Because I know that everybody is not capable of especially with like the way the economy is now. But if you have Medicaid, therapy is available. If you have insurance through your job, therapy is available. If you have a few dollars, you can go get a journal. Writing in a journal is therapy, or a notebook. You don't necessarily need something that is a journal. You can write in a notebook or just get a piece of paper or something just to write down your feelings, write down your thoughts. Find something to do that just brings you peace. So like I said, those hobbies. I know this girl that knits. She does a really good job. And she just knits. She said, I just knit my problems away. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Y'all, I bought me a little knitting thing, girl. I mean, and I'm gonna try it out and see how it works, and I'll let y'all know. But yeah, find something that helps to heal you, something that helps you to talk about it, something that helps you to just let go of those things. I like to go sit by the water when the weather permits. Of course, I don't just, but yeah, it's a lot of things. You can go for a walk, maybe take the kids for a walk, talk about y'all's day, set up like little evening time, to hang out with the kids, maybe a family night where um you just and if you don't live with your children, give them a call. Hey, how was your day? What's your mental health like? And they ask you, hey, what's mental health? Introduce them to those things. Talk to them about those things. Did you make any friends today? How did you feel today? Were you happy? Were you sad? If so, why? What made you happy? What made you sad? So forth and so on. Um, allow allow your children to feel safe with you. Let your children know that you are there, and even if it's not your children, your grandchildren, when you're with them, have those conversations with them. You never know. Sometimes, children need to be protected from their parents. Because their parents are the one that are causing the emotional distress. And as for you, the adult, take care of yourself. Show your children what it looks like to be the healthiest version of yourself and not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. Hey, mom, why are you reading so much? Because reading helps me to be calm. Why are you writing so much? Because just have those conversations. Um, what do you the homework this week? What do you do to for your mental health? Do you journal? Do you walk? Do you sing? Do you sit in the car for extended periods of time? Like, what do you do um, just to give you that mental break that you need? Do you do it daily? Do you do it weekly? Is it a monthly thing? Do you do self care days? Um, and if you have a partner, if you have friends, what do you guys do together as a group? Or what do you want to do? What's some things that you have in place to make sure that your friends are okay? Um, yeah, that's the homework. So I hope that you guys, again, are having the best week. I cannot wait to see you again on Sunday. Um, what else? Oh, guys, in honor of Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, there are resources on the website that are available for anybody. It does not matter what state you are in. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. It's free. Everything is free. The help is free. The help is there. The help is available. Those resources are listed on the website for you. So please utilize them. I hope that it helps somebody. It's not just for people that are dealing with suicide ideation. It is also for people that are dealing with the results of suicide, and just anything having to do with it. There are free counselors available, so all those resources are available. I have it on the website for you guys. Please check it out, thejourneypodcast.life. I love you guys so, so much. I cannot wait to see you Sunday. So you guys have the best day, night, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you when you're listening to this. And yeah, be good. Bye.